Good morning, friends. Good evening to friends and family in India.
Good evening, sir.
Nice to see all of you. We'll go ahead and get started. Um, I guess more people may come in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Today's discussion is to see how we can explore outside our comfort zone. So that's what I believe is really at the core of our Heartful Living clinics over the last 5 to 10 years. And this has really given patients so much confidence to connect deeper level with mind body continuum and to experience more gratitude and to live better. This in turn ends up helping patients give up cigarettes, starting to connect better with people and to exercise. And ultimately, many of our patients are able to overcome chronic diseases that we typically think cannot be overcome. We feel hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol issues, all these things are going to be with the rest of our life. But in reality, we have numerous patients who have come off all these medicines. And the credit goes only to them for trusting themselves. How do we trust ourselves? So that may be the one question. And I feel today's discussion, some people are new, some have been with us for years, but we'll try to make the discussion more open so that everybody can participate and hopefully have fun and gain some insight into how this heartful living and holistic concepts work. Anybody wishes to what should I say? Today morning I sent out some request. The wording I had to think about, so I'm going to pull up that wording to see what I said. I invited a few of my friends and patients to share in 1 to 2 minutes something you have done outside your comfort zone that helped you overcome certain life's challenges or losses or any particular stresses in life. So, anybody wishes to start, we can do that and have it as an open discussion. So, my request will be to take 1 to 2 minutes.
Please change
Where,
that background.
where you went outside your comfort zone in the recent past or in the remote past. And when I say outside your comfort zone, you could say even outside your logical thinking or training or education or whatever. You did something that you thought might have been silly at the time, but you did it anyway. And at the end of the day, you came out better off because of that experience. So, yes, anybody is welcome to.
Can I start?
Siddharth, my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yes, you're most welcome. You have to
Yeah.
introduce yourself briefly and tell what challenge it is and how you dealt with it.
Yeah. My name is Dr. Siddharth. So I have my qualification in gastrointestinal and bariatric surgery, which has a lot to do with weight loss. So this last 10 months has been a really, 10 days has been really a holy week in India. If you guys have heard about Navaratri, it's really a holy week. And where has a religious belief, we Hindus have been advised to go in for a fast. So if you have a firm spiritual belief, that is a plus point. That is, I have a firm spiritual belief. And this month, uh, uh, our religion itself asks us to go in for a fast. And another thing, a quick tips which you can do to avoid is when you go to the store, avoid buying things which you think which you binge on. A lot of studies have also shown that we are going to binge on things which have a mixture of sweet, salt, and fat. So a lot of research has gone into how the food companies or multinational companies prepare the food, which keeps us addicted. So they have found the perfect combination of fat, sugar, and salt. So which always keeps us addicted. So I would advise if you go to the store, just buy the things which is needed. Don't buy the things. Don't what to say. uh, uh, I mean, don't give way to your temptation of buying those things. That is what I would suggest. What do you think?
Siddharth, you want to tell us how you did that fast and how you were able to sustain it for so many days?
So again, I would a lot of Hindu scriptures and Buddhist scriptures. They do say that a human being can subsist on 1 square meal a day. 1 square meal day per day is enough for us. That is what those scriptures and meditation and Ayurvedic scriptures, Buddhist scriptures, they all agree on one fact that 1 square meal a day is enough for us. So hence I try to do that, and I think after a hearty lunch, I don't feel like having dinner. So morning I have a cup of coffee, then lunch, and then a cup of tea in the evening. That is sufficient enough, I feel, for me.
Excellent. Thanks, Siddharth.
Yeah. You want to add?
Who else wants to go? Anybody from the US?
Okay, so if nobody's going in, then probably.
Sure.
So I want to share how I went through the loss of my mom. I lost my mom last year, and this by far has been the most traumatic thing that has ever happened to me. So losing a loved one is always very hard. So there was a lot of struggle initially. The first 3 months always is extremely tough. But I kind of realized that I was always a very private, very closed person. And I never liked to share what exactly I went through with others. So that's my innate nature. But I realized that I had to grieve and I had to move forward. And I was someone who never cried in front of others. I would never show it. But what I realized, talking to people, talking to the closed ones, and talking to the ones known to my mom, I let myself cry. I let myself be me. I wanted to show that side of myself. And I guess that really helped in terms of, I wouldn't say I've come out of it, but at least it's helped me to move forward in life. So that's something that I did out of my comfort zone, which naturally doesn't come to me. Crying, in front of somebody else is not something that I would do. But I realized doing that did help me.
Crying helps you cope with the challenges. How about fasting? I know you've been doing that. Do you think that is also giving you spiritual or mental confidence, Vanita?
I'm not a very spiritual person. I think this is where I'd like to differ with my husband. But I'm doing it personally for my own health benefit. So I constantly keep motivating myself. I keep telling myself what I'm doing is only to help my own, my own self. So I guess the constant motivation is the thought that what that matters. If you know that doing this is going to, keep you healthy, I guess that's good enough. I don't do anything beyond that. The constant thought that I know I feel hungry. There are times where I probably want to binge eat, but I still stop myself from doing it, looking at the bigger picture. And so that's how I do it.
I would also like to add that egg is known to have a good effect on our satiety. That is, it stops a lot of hormone which makes us crave or increases our hunger. So having egg also, 2 eggs probably will also help you during your fast.
Very nice sharing both your experiences from India. Thank you, Siddharth
Thank
and
you.
Vanita. Anybody here? Anybody else wants to go? And the discussion now is what you did outside your comfort zone to cope with the challenges in life, stresses in life. So if anyone wants to talk, that's about anything, and within 1 to 2 minutes, if you can introduce yourself and tell us what has helped you. our group is happy to hear for another few minutes. So can you see my slide, the full screen? Yes? Can you see the slide? Siddharth?
I can see
Yeah,
it.
we
we
can
can
see
see
a
your screen.
slide.
We can see the screen.
You do see the full screen as my slide, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we can see
super.
it.
So this is the, I would say the first time we are trying to do a Heartful series for advanced sessions. The last 5 to 6 years, what we've been doing is repeating the same 8 sessions. Since we recorded in June and July and it's available on YouTube, I felt we should not go through the exact same slide set within 2 months. So that's why we came up with this sort of open discussion format where people can tell us what they've done in their own inner journey, self inquiry, trying to get a better understanding of our life's challenges. So that's what this whole discussion is about over the next several Mondays. Today's discussion is experiencing life outside the box. So our disclosure is our website HiLife Journey, which is directly aiming at helping people anywhere in the world gain better cardiac health. It's a non-profit. This is a patient that I saw last week, October 19, because she had a heart attack. We did a heart catheterization where she had a left anterior artery which was tightly stenosed, and the right coronary artery, which I'm showing you in the left of the screen, is occluded. That means this is where the blood should be going, but you don't see the vessel at all. So based on this anatomy, we felt bypass surgery is the only option to give her good support and blood supply to her heart. Within 3 days, we went back in without doing the bypass surgery to take another look. And we were actually really surprised to see that the artery had opened back up all the way. There was still some blockage that needed a stent, but the blood flow was already restored without
Caitlin,
us
this is
having
Jane.
to
Is Kim here this morning
put
or
any
today at
stents
all?
in there. I'm going to request everyone to
She'll
mute your
be here later
mics.
today. Okay, great. I'll just check in with her later about something. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Please mute your mics. And this person may be in our group. If she is, and she wants to tell us in a couple of minutes how this experience has been a, I would say, learning experience for her, or anything she wants to share, she's welcome. But this is a patient we just saw this week. You'll
So,
have to unmute yourself if you're going
so
to.
Anand, now do you want me to say something?
Sure.
Okay, I didn't know if you had more that you were going to say in your presentation or not.
I have some more slides, but now is the great time for you to go if you feel
Oh,
like
okay.
talking.
Well, basically, I was not even made aware that the artery had opened until I was checking out. So I didn't realize that until Dr. Anand kindly told me what had happened. And if I had known it was opening up, I might have said, hold off on the stent. Let's wait a little bit longer till it goes completely. We get a complete healing. But anyway, I was indeed having prayers, family, friends, and also, Dr. Anand does not know I'm a Christian Scientist. So I was also having Christian Science metaphysical treatment at the same time. And so the gist of it, I mean, I know everybody doesn't know that much about Christian Science. So basically the gist of it is that we believe that there are higher spiritual laws that override material laws. and that no matter what circumstance you find yourself in, you know, that these laws can be applied to your situation. And so that's what was happening. And, you know, Jesus, we believe, came to show us that these laws override all the material circumstances. And you see that he did this over and over again. He stilled storms, he walked on waters, he fed the people. Anyway, so bottom line is, we believe that when he said, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free," that he was saying you can apply these spiritual laws to your physical circumstance. And so that's what happened here. And I'm so grateful that Dr. Anand recognized, he was spiritually advanced enough to recognize that this could only have been the result of prayer. So I want to thank you, Dr. Anand, for that. And that's what happened.
I'm so glad that you were able to join us. And I'm so happy that you didn't need that bypass surgery. From
Me
here,
too.
your heart is only going to keep getting stronger. And I really wish the best for you moving forward.
And you
Wonderful.
too.
Thanks so much for sharing your most challenging and wonderful experience with us at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else wants to? I know new people are joining our group. So the discussion today is experiencing life outside the box. So anything that you did outside your comfort zone, or that they may not seem logical at the time, but actually left you better off. So that's what we are inviting people to share. Another 1 or 2 minutes, if anybody wants to talk about themselves, they'll have to introduce who you are briefly and just tell us how you have overcome challenges by thinking outside the box. You'll have to unmute yourself. Anybody wants to go?
Dr. Anand, could I add something?
Please.
Also, I think a big lesson here is love. I don't think people realize how important it is to both, you know, receive and you know, to recognize, give and receive love in your life. And I think this is has a healing effect that maybe people don't realize that it does. But that was a big lesson for me.
Beautifully said. Thank you. I have some slides that we can go through, but we still have some more time for people to tell us, those who've been with us, if you want to tell us how fasting or exercise or anything, any aspect of heartful living, whether it's made a difference for you. I know I recognize so many people who've been with us for years. So anybody is welcome to tell us how self-inquiry is helping their life. Okay, then we can go through some more slides if nobody wants to pitch in at this particular juncture. So let me get the slides back up. Now, do you see the slide again? Full screen? Yes? Somebody has to tell me, because I'm sometimes not sure if these slides are projecting properly. Siddharth, are you seeing the slides?
Yes.
Okay, I just closed up. Let me get back to it. Excellent. So, experiencing life outside the box. Today is the third session of the Advanced Heartful Living series. So the question to us is, when we say outside the box, how do we do this? What are the examples? And why do we even need to think outside the box? What are the health benefits? because ultimately we are trying to get healthier, protect our heart, and cope with our life's challenges. So to give you a background, I put this together. In 2006, about 15 years ago, we clearly published saying there is a significant role for the mind and mental stress in causing a heart attack. So around the time of a heart attack, we know people are much more stressed. We've done our own research on this. By 2010, our research here focused on reversing the heart getting stiffer. So this only in the last few years, here at MU and some other centers have also published that what we call cardiac stiffness or diastolic dysfunction. This is basically another word for aging. Everybody ages, right? We have shown now that this can be stopped, and in several instances, this process itself can be reversed. This we have now known for 10 years. By 2012, we wanted to apply this as a formal tool. So we did a home-based upper extremity exercise cardiac rehab program. Why do we have to do upper extremity exercise? Because this program was initiated at the VA where many veterans have disabilities and are not able to walk on the treadmill or bicycle. So for them with disabilities, we wanted to show just using the upper extremities, we may be able to benefit, and they don't even have to come here for our center supervised rehab. They can do it at home and still gain the benefits. So this we knew by 2012. By 2015, we put all this together and started formal Heartful Living clinics Friday at noon. So this we've been doing now for 5 years. Throughout the year, about 3 or 4 series we'll do for 8 weeks. And we've had about 20 patients, their families, doctors, nurses, anybody interested in wellness attend. And this is like a supplement to cardiac rehab and to encourage people to do self-inquiry and gain more confidence. That's how this program has been. I would say from 2015 to 2018, 2019, it has been Anand giving the initiative and pushing patients. But now in the last couple of years, what I'm seeing is people are coming back to me and saying, we've done this program, doc, it works for us. That's what they are saying. So in 2020, we just have to go with the experience not, of 1 or 2 patients, but hundreds of patients who've gained, I would say, so much more health, given up medicines because they've gotten over their health problems. They've given I would say, not needed balloons, stents, and out of 22 medicines, they are now taking 1 or 2 medicines, and their life is basically transformed. They are feeling 20 years younger. So this is patients' life experiences that has now made me realize this self-inquiry is, I would say, 10 times more powerful anywhere in the world for people of any religion, color, age. Even adolescents are showing so much uh, transformation with self-inquiry. So there is really no limit to the potential of self-inquiry, and anybody is welcome. That's why in 2020 we have started this SMILE program. What this is self-inquiry as a way of enhancing life itself for patients' families to do better. So if I have a 70-year-old, I'm inviting their children and their grandchildren who are 10 years, 15 years old to try how they can improve their self-understanding, mind-body connection so that their health will be better. So this is where our website, HiLife Journey, is very ambitious in the sense, without ever meeting me as a patient or knowing me as a friend, anybody can go into this website, HiLife Journey, and there's no cost to it. They can log in, listen to all these June, July series, and potentially take their own health and wellness into their hands and move forward in gradual steps. So this is available to anyone at this point. So this is where we are in 2020. I'm in discussion with our leadership here in the next 2 years to start a formal center where there'll be more people that can coordinate these efforts. By 2024, we want to start a more formal wellness program here where people can come get more structured coaching over 3 to 5 days as an inpatient. And this is not like a hospital setting, but as a, I would say, wellness center setting. By 2025, we want to make this more of a national program. And there is no limit to what we can achieve in the next 10 years. I have mentioned these blue zones. I'll show it to you once these slide sets are done. We have several books on blue zones where people are living into their 90s and beyond 100 years and they are staying so healthy. This is happening today. So we can make Columbia, Missouri one of the blue zones. We can make Chennai, India a blue zone. We can make so many places that we live in better, healthier places for us and our families. So that's what is the goal, how we can live globally uh, with each other and celebrate life better moving forward. So people who have not been shown these slides several times in the summer, but these are two monkeys that are exactly same age. The one on the left side looks its age. It's just gotten older. But the one on the right side, although it's the same chronological age, biologically it has stopped aging. The reason for this monkey staying younger, despite both the monkeys being healthy and without any medical problems, is for a few years, the monkey on the right side in the lab accepted calorie restriction. So, being normal weight, eating normal food, the monkey on the right side, and several others in that group were experimented with 30% calorie restriction. That's all it was. That means, compared to what nature provides, animals that are calorie restricted end up living, I would say, 20, 30, even 100% longer. If you go to smaller
So
organisms
when
like
you use
bacteria,
that email account, is that now my permanent account?
could you,
No,
I'm
that's
going
to
to
log
request
into
everyone to mute yourself.
H-Life.
That's only it, right?
So
I'm trying to do
Bill
went to the doctor Friday and I got a ticket.
Mhm.
So I logged in.
So I muted everyone. I hope you can still hear me. If you can't hear me, you'll have to unmute yourself and tell me, but otherwise I'll just keep going. So this story that this animal experiment showed us, and this story aging researchers have known actually now for 50 years. So what I'm showing you is not something that is totally new to us. Small animals like even unicellular bacteria to rodents and snakes and monkeys and dogs, every life form has shown that by calorie restriction, they exceed their natural life expectancy. What about humans? That's what matters to us. There are studies published in humans now. It's called Calorie 2. I'm not going to go into details. This was published in Lancet in the last 2, 3 years. And in several 35-year-old healthy, normal weight human beings who don't have any medical problems, by blood tests and imaging, they've shown that 25% calorie restriction, which was maintained for 2 years, their aging reversed. Their biology became like that of a 20, 25-year-old. So this has already been done in human beings. Have we got people living beyond the 100 age mark? If that's something we are interested in, we don't have that type of studies yet. But healthy, normal weight humans, we already know can live longer and healthier and more energetic if they take calorie restrictions. So then why don't everybody do that? Because it requires a lot of willpower for us to think outside the box. That's why we are discussing that in today's discussion. So this is what the SMILE program is: self-inquiry based multi-generational involvement in lifestyle enhancement. So not only our cardiac patients and their families, their friends, but also their children and grandchildren, we may be able to get even better risk reduction, which may be much more sustained over decades if we start early in improving our lifestyle. So depending on when we were born, we are categorized into boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Zs. It does not matter where we are in the world, geographically, politically, religiously, whichever category we fall under. We have this specific uh, responsibility or opportunity towards ourselves and to take steps that will help us live healthier. So this you may be familiar with is called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The most physiological basic needs for food, water, and then for safety in the form of shelter. If these things are fulfilled, then we move on to social needs like friends and family and sense of belonging. Then if we have a good interpersonal relationship, then human beings naturally tend towards self-esteem, where they work towards education, wealth, power, recognition in society, things like that. So there are, unfortunately, in the developing world, in Africa, in India, so many people below the poverty line who are still struggling for the first two levels. In the Western societies, we come across more people who have uh, moved on to these upper levels. And then final level that Maslow uh, categorized was self-actualization, which means working towards our maximal creativity, potential in life, doing best, working months and years together to achieve something novel, to change the future of health and to win Nobel Prize, for example, things like that, to go beyond. So this is what Maslow thought is the hierarchy of human needs. Now, he did not write about this, but there is another thing called transcendence. We use the word self-inquiry, but that very closely conforms to that transcendence that Maslow recognized. But he did not write too much about it because he was already towards the end of his career, that he recognized so many people were not operating on any of these levels. Whichever level they were in, they were already operating in this transcendent level, which is uh, directly being able to uh, sacrifice. That word is the most important thing of their wealth or their time or their physical comforts to do something good for people or something to make the world a better place. So this self inquiry, I believe, is a nice formal way that has been going on for several thousand years in India. Siddha yoga is, I would say, 5 to 10,000 years old, and that I find is the root of so many forms of spirituality in India that has led to Buddhist thinking in the last several thousand years that has now come back in the last few decades to the US as mindfulness and things like that. So our heartful living, our high life, this hopes to encourage people wherever we are, despite cardiac and other health issues, towards self-inquiry, towards finding that confidence and freedom in our lifetime itself. So that it brings us directly to thinking outside the box. So when we say thinking outside the box, what do we really mean? We want to give up our zone of comfort, think beyond our training, beyond our cultural values and beliefs and habits and things like that. So what I'm inviting people to do is recognize what our habits are and be willing to relearn life, uh, overcome the norms that have been binding us and limitations that have been holding us back. When we say our lifespan, even that is something that we can improve. That's what these monkeys are showing us. So this thing called time itself is in our consciousness. So even that can be overcome. So everything becomes a potential, like people have discussed even before I went into the slide set from India, from the US. There are so many things that we still don't understand. But I'll tell you a simple instance. Today I was joking to a friend that, yeah, it's raining in Colombia. I'm thinking whether I should take a walk in the rain. Uh, my friend laughed. But the truth is, that is what Heartful Living has been about in 2015, 2016. I've been telling heart patients who had a bypass or stent to go and take a walk in the rain. Why? Because they've not done that for 40 years. They did it maybe as a child, just going out and playing in the rain. But after that, we learned that it's not good for our leather shoes or for our clothes or whatever, and we just don't go out, even though we have the opportunity. So now that our focus has moved more and more towards fasting, we end up spending majority of our time answering questions on how we can do fasting. But there are 1,000 ways to experience life. Just walking out in the rain is okay, but people can fall down and injure ourselves. So you'll have to be really careful when you try these things which are not in your comfort zone, because habits help us stay out of trouble. So you'll have to be a little more careful, but this actually allows us to experience life better. That's the reason we are inviting you to formally explore things outside your comfort zone. So when I say experience life, the boxes that we talk about that we showed in the last slide, our thinking itself is a box, is a framework within which we are stuck. So can we go beyond our logic? Can we go beyond our thinking? That is the real and heartful living core value that helps us gain that level of confidence to connect and gain our life back. That's what this thing is about. So for me, I started my life as a cardiologist. I believe a lot of the work I'm doing through Heartful Living is in psychology and holistic wellness. And then we all have to participate in ethics and policy and culture. And by 2035, we have to be ready for super artificial intelligence. That means the computer is going to not only beat us in chess, but it's going to become more powerful and potent than all of us put together. That situation may arise. So at that point, what is going to be the value that we bring to life itself? So all these questions we have to address in the next 15 years. So this has been an old slide. How do we break through the barriers and do self-inquiry? We use mindfulness, meditation, gratitude. Today we had a beautiful story from Columbia, Missouri within the last week, how a blocked coronary artery, I've never seen in the last 20 years I've been practicing cardiology, a totally occluded artery opening up. So that's what I went and told her. And now she tells us that her faith has helped her through prayer to overcome. So prayer is a form of overcoming the conscious limitations and our sense of self. Prayer overcomes all that, and it can break through our ego and limitations. Love for people, for nature, travel, all these things allow us to experience life at a deeper level. Creating, learning, music, or adults. I know a neurology professor who takes so many hours out of his time every week to go and learn a musical instrument. He's doing that in his 50s, 60s, 70s, so that when he is older, he'll have so much more cognitive potential and much risk of dementia. This is a neurologist doing this. So there are so many things we can do to improve our health, but don't do it as another thing. Do it out of, I would say, our joy. That is the thing. Okay? And then sports, exercise. We have heart patients after bypass and stents who take up sports in their 60s and 70s and who are so much more stronger and more confident because of that. Flow phenomenon we've discussed in the past. I'm sure we'll get more chances to talk about it. Fasting and ikigai is finding purpose, finding meaning in life. So all these things are words, but when it becomes an experience, then life opens up. So this is what I wanted to leave you with. I know it's somewhat abstract for people who've not been through our prior Heartful Living series, but I hope it was somewhat useful to you. For me, this is what I did outside the box. This is my car. I got in the car and I got a week off, so I drove to see the fall colors in Asheville, North Carolina, the Blue Ridge Parkway. It was an amazing week. Every day I will get out before sunrise and experience car drive and hike for 5 miles, 6 miles into the mountains. And this is one of the peaks, but this peak you can just drive up there. It's Mount Mitchell, and it's the tallest peak in the East Coast. Such a beautiful sunrise. I was lucky to get there and have uh, no cloud cover or anything that morning to experience it last week. And my 10-year-old daughter did this road trip with me. She was able to take her school work with her and manage it in between all these travels. And we didn't have any particular purpose for this trip except experiencing nature and fall colors. That's all we did in North Carolina. So this is my most recent uh, experience of life outside my traditional way of taking care of patients and living my life in mid-Missouri. So I will stop here and open it up for more discussion, questions, anything we want to do. We have another 10 to 20 minutes. I'm here to answer questions and here to listen to what you want to say about steps that you think you might be able to take in the next few weeks, few months, that will make you stronger and more resilient towards life itself. Excellent. We have more people who have joined us. And the question today, the beginning at 10 o'clock was what you have done outside your comfort zone to help manage life challenges. So if anybody who's just joined us wants to share that experience, if people who've been with Heartful Living for several years want to say how their experience has improved with self-inquiry, anything is welcome at this point. Keep it brief and give chance to others so that in the next 10, 15 minutes, more people can share their ideas, those who haven't spoken yet. But otherwise, it's basically open discussion for anybody. You'll have to unmute yourself and anybody's welcome.
What were some of the responses earlier to that question?
We had nice discussions, so they'll have to again tell their full story. So I guess we'll first open it up to people who've not had a chance to talk. In 1 or 2 minutes, if you would like to tell us how you overcome your life challenges by doing things that are not in your comfort zone. That is the question.
Go ahead, Cindy.
Ben, I was already on.
I know, but I want to hear what you have to say since I hold you in such high esteem.
Oh, bless your heart. Well, here's the deal. I was hospitalized and they expected to give me open heart surgery. And the short story is that the artery opened itself as the result of prayer. So I was able to get by only with stents, although if I'd known that the artery was opening, I would have held off even on the stents. But it was definitely the result of prayer and positive thinking, and also just an acknowledgement of love. I think everyone needs to do that. So that's the long and short of it. So any questions?
That's beautiful. That's amazing.
Thank you. I was blessed. And Dr. Anand, I have to give him credit because he recognized this could only have come about through a higher power. Not every doctor would recognize that. And I really, really, really was blessed that he was on my case. So that's why I'm here today. He is a special person and not everybody, the university is lucky to have him.
You're right about that.
Yes.
He's also so humble too.
I know, but he needs his due and recognition. Not every medical doctor would have recognized what he did. So I'm very grateful.
Thanks so much, Cindy. I know many people have joined later. So what really happened in Cindy's case is she had a totally occluded right coronary artery and she had LAD disease also. And I talked to 2 interventional cardiologists, 2 heart surgeons, and we all felt the safest thing is to do bypass, being such an active person. And then after a few days, when we went in and took another look to see what we might be doing to help her without trying to do the bypass, we were all surprised to see that that blockage had actually recanalized with forward flow. So in the last 20 years of me doing this work, I haven't seen this happen within 2 days spontaneously. So I just told her the truth as it is. So nice that you are able to share your experience. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Archana Agarwal. I totally agree with Cindy that, you know, MU is really fortunate to have Dr. Anand as a cardiologist there. And Cindy, I have a question. Do you have a prayer group or do you take prayer requests and, you know, something like that?
Well, again, I mentioned earlier, I'm a Christian Scientist. And so we have, we not only pray for one another, but we have Christian Science practitioners who apply spiritual truths to your situation. It's different than the usual sense of prayer. Most people, when they think of prayer, they think of begging a higher power to intervene in their case. in Christian Science prayer, you are trying to understand spiritual truths, spiritual laws, divine laws, and apply those to your case. It's not begging, it's applying. And so it's quite different than most people's concept of prayer. But that's what was happening there. And Dr. Anand was good enough to recognize the benefits that were taking place.
So if I wanted to connect with you, how could I do that? Is there to understand this further or to,
Well, perhaps Dr. Anand could give you my email address.
Okay.
And that way we could connect.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cindy and Anand, I am Dr. Chokkalingam. I am Anand's father, Dr. Chokkalingam from Chennai, India. I want to have some clarification, Cindy and Anand. You said 100% block. How long it took for it to clear off? Within how many days or week? What the repeat one after how many weeks of your prayer?
Now, do you see the slides again, Dad?
Yes.
You see the slides?
I don't see.
Oh, you don't see the slides?
Now I'm seeing only you are not showing that.
Okay, let me see how I can show you the slide again. It says I'm sharing screen. Maybe I'll share it with you again. But the thing is, she came in with the angina that was progressive and troponin was elevated. So it was a LAD which was critically occluded and RCA was totally occluded. So this, we don't know exactly which time point which happened, but both the vessels are critical and RCA is CTO, chronic total occlusion. We thought it was CTO at the time because it had mature collaterals also. So I'm sorry this is getting into cardiology discussion. That's not our aim, but because my dad will want to know the details, I suspected it. But based on that, we recommended bypass. But for 3 days, it took us to sort everything out and schedule her for the bypass. She convinced me to take another look. So that's why we went in there and took another look. And we were able to find the RCA was recanalized. Antegrade flow was reestablished with good TIMI flow. And there was still a critical lesion that needed a stent. So we were able to easily place that stent.
After 3 days, is it?
Within
3
3
days
days, yes.
interval?
Being in the hospital, but we had not thrombolized.
The reason
She
why
was
I'm asking,
vascular
maybe non-medical people also there, Cindy. Now the block is going to be arthromatous block and the block due to thrombus. Thrombus only will get recanalized because of your prayer, your intense feeling of your, how confident you are going to be, your prayer, everything, and your nature helps to recanalize. Whenever there is a thrombus block, constantly there is a element that will dissolve the block constantly is going on. It depends upon how the balance is. So my personal feeling on it, the block attack occurred mainly is a thrombotic one right coronary artery. And thrombotic one will get recanalized because of thrombolysis of the drugs or your intrinsic thrombolytic benefit that you may have because of your confidence, emotions, feeling of positivity, everything. So that must be, whereas arthromatous block, it will take longer time. It may take minimum 1 year or 15 months. So recanalization of this right coronary, I am not able to see that one. It is because of your belief, your commitment, your prayer, whatever thing you say, you are getting confidence in that and you are helping that. And the drugs they would have given at that time, it is helping to recanalize. And after that, I don't know whether some block is there, but left anti-descending out is a block, it may take longer time. But whatever thing, as Anand was telling, if you're going to have a positive lifestyle and high life, or whatever thing we've been telling, it may regress even the block of 95%. We have seen number of patients were published already, along with Priya Chokkalingam, that regression occurs totally even in the arthromatous block, but will take minimum 12 months, 15 months, or 18 months. There are occasions they'll make totally regresses blockage. So the 3 days or 4 days or even 3 hours, the recanalizations because the thrombus getting recanalized, the underlying block will be there. It may take longer time to get regression of that arthromatous block. That is what I feel, Anand.
Excellent.
Cindy also will agree with that.
Excellent. Anybody else wants to share any ideas what you might be trying to do moving forward? We want this to be an encouragement for 2021. So what do you think you might try that is outside your comfort zone, which will potentially help you realize the value of our life? So let's move the question a little bit for 2021. Anybody wants to share with us what they're going to do outside their current way of life that might allow them to experience life better moving forward?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm John Sheltmeyer. I'm Cindy Sheltmeyer's son. I just wanted to chime in real quick and thank you. This is very illuminating. My being in this meeting is actually outside my comfort zone. This is
Thank you so much for joining us, John.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure. And I'm sorry, I'm not very presentable right now. I'm kind of a silhouette. It's like I'm in what's that? Witness protection program. Yeah, just being in this meeting is outside my comfort zone, and I'm glad I did this. I feel like I've actually gotten a lot of positive insight out of this meeting. As pessimistic and skeptical as I can be, I feel like there's a lot of truth to what's being said here, and this inspires me, if nothing else, just to think more about how I can serve other people and spend more time thinking about how to help others, and just seize the day, get out there, like your spontaneous trip with your daughter. I mean, that sounds wonderful. And I noticed with the passing of time that the days feel longer when we do things each day that we wouldn't normally do. It's almost like you add time to your life by changing up your routine. And that's something I definitely need to do more of. This has been, ironically for me, the worst week in recent memory for eating. I've been eating nothing but junk. Pizza, potato chips, ice cream. It's just, that's just what's in the kitchen right now. But this meeting has also been a very good reminder that stuff is just addictive. It's easy to binge. And I'm going to look into the calorie restriction principles that you were talking about. I don't know exactly how that works. Bless you, Mr. Loeb.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was on mute. Sorry about that.
No, that blew the speakers out.
Sorry. I thought I was mute.
No worries.
Good to see you again, though.
You too.
Thank you.
Blast from the past.
I want to hear that more than me talk.
Anyway, no, I guess the gist of it is that's another takeaway from this meeting is that it's, one square meal a day. I think that would suit me just fine. It's really just a matter of just resisting the urge to binge, to eat healthy foods that actually make your body feel more nourished. Because I think when you eat junk, you're constantly hungry because you're not getting the nourishment you need. But if you eat healthy, your body recognizes that it has the nutrients it needs and it's less likely to crave more calories. Just to reiterate a point that was already made. So anyway, I'm going long, sorry.
John, I want to say that, you joining us is very special because you're not my patient or I have not even met you so far. I'm so glad Cindy got you in. But
yeah, thank you.
This is the 2020-2022 step that I'm taking, the SMILE program, where we want to take self-inquiry to family members. Because now in 2020, I've known already for 5 years that so much of health benefits are there to people getting a deeper mind-body connection, whichever word you use for it. Either word I use is self-inquiry. But today that you joined us makes it so much more valuable for our mission moving forward. The other thing you said, what you're going to do is the key, trying to not just break the norm, but to do it the right way. So those things that I showed at the end about ways of self-inquiry, much of that now has crystallized into this fasting thing because it is so easy compared to every other way of going and finding a music teacher or a violin or piano teacher in this COVID world is more challenging. But refraining from food is that much more natural. For 14 hours every night, we request, and once a week, up to 24 hours, we can go without any food. That's what I've been generally saying. If you go through the June and July YouTube recordings from Cindy, you'll know what I'm showing as the way to help heart patients. And the other thing with you joining, I'm happy, is because unfortunately, those with family having heart disease, see, for instance, Cindy has normal BMI and very good health until now. So despite being healthy, she has ended up with heart disease. 9 out of 10 heart disease patients, we find lifestyle is a contributor. For her, I can't think of that. So despite healthy lifestyle, she has ended up with some blockages. So for you, making a little bit of changes. My dad, for the last 50 years, he has been practicing cardiology. He will tell you it's only stress, nothing else causes heart attacks. So he has you see the other recordings in June, July, you'll hear more of his talks. Today, he kept to very short. But the truth is, our mindset, we change, we can even change our genetic risk. So I'm so happy that you joined, more than Cindy joining us, because for her, we fixed her. She's not going to have any more heart trouble. She's only going to be our friend the rest of this life journey. So nice.
Yeah, I'm your next project.
You have to tell us after 2 years what health benefits you've had. But I'm happy to see you once, just to make sure everything as a individual level we can go in a little more detail. I'm happy to help anybody. But this program, I really am so happy you joined us.
Thank you.
Anand, I have can you hear me?
Yes.
Anand?
Please,
Yeah,
please
so
introduce yourself, Archana, to our group. They don't know
yes,
yet.
okay. So I'm Archana Agarwal. I'm a psychiatrist. I'm a practicing psychiatrist. And I really, really enjoyed the last series. And I was unable to um, listen to the first two talks. I think this is the third one of the Smile series. So these are being recorded. And so if I wanted to listen to the first two, it's that will be on YouTube also.
Yes, we recorded it. And I don't think we posted it in HiLife Journey yet, but we'll do it hopefully this week, all the three.
So on the YouTube, what do I do on the search, when I go for, in order to access this?
You just go to HiLife Journey, HILIFE journey.org, and you'll have to just create a username and password. From there, you can see all these videos that we've had in June, July, and the current ongoing series, everything.
And I would like to say, let my daughters know about it, or let some other person know about it, and this timing may not be the best for them, so they can that way they can also listen to it.
Definitely. It doesn't have to be synchronous. Anybody, anytime at their convenience, they can do it. My request when I talk to patients is think that I'm actually knocking on your door, coming, sitting down with all this material and talking to you. Don't look at it as some recording of something done for somebody else at some other time point. Just take it personally. That's what would be my only request.
Yes. Regarding going out of the comfort zone, personally for me, I was at a point where I became pretty uncomfortable actually with my weight, and I was never a sedentary person, but somehow, because you're working, my job requires a lot of just sitting down and talking to patients, and you end up eating. I don't think I've ever been a big eater, but still you're not eating the healthiest or whatever. So I became pretty uncomfortable, and I was like, I really need to get rid of, shed these pounds. So, the intermittent fasting has helped a lot. And then even before the intermittent fasting, I started, like, I, of course, I've been a gym member off and on for years, but then this gym offered a team training, and I knew that was not going to be easy for me, but I kind of, took the step of joining that. And through that, it's been a lot of strength training, a lot of aerobic, and that was out of my comfort zone. But I have been doing it, so I just wanted to share that. If it will inspire anyone else, and I'm not any young person, so I feel good about doing it. Yeah.
As we grow beyond the age of 35, our bone strength, muscle strength, all start slowly going downward. So from the age of 40, it is so much more important than before that age that we try to stay as active and challenge the body so that the mind,
Yeah.
body, everything will be healthy. Thanks so much for sharing.
Sure.
Dr. Agarwal.
Anand, I want, okay, madam is giving. Camellia, you can talk now. I think she wants to say something, Camellia.
Thank you. Thank you, doctor. This is Camellia. I go by Candy. And I just wanted to share that I just got off of a 39-hour fast. First time I've done it. And I'm still alive.
Wow, we want to know how it was. It must have been hard.
Actually, it really wasn't. I've been trying to practice 16 to 18-hour fasts every day, and generally hold around anywhere from 16 on an average of a 16-hour fast every day. And then just this weekend, you were talking about prayer. And so there was a prayer request to fast and pray for our nation this weekend. And so I just combined the two together and did. And so the other thing I'd like to say about prayer, I think prayer is one of the strongest things there is in our human life. And there have been articles that actually scientifically show that when doctors pray for their patients actually do better. And so what I intend to fully go on and do for this, I'm soon to retire. And so I'm looking forward to that retirement, and I'm gonna try to volunteer and do things that I've always wanted to do, but that work, family, other things interfered, so that now I will have time to do more for others. So thanks again, doctor.
Wow. I haven't done 39 hours yet. The longest I've gone, I think, is 36. And I plan to continue doing about 24 to 30 hours about once a week. And most days I continue to eat as little food as I can that will allow me to do everything I want to do, including trying to hang with Ben Loeb in a tennis match, which is very, very hard. So nice, Camelia, that you were able to do this successfully. It is going to leave you with that much confidence and deeper understanding, because all this is otherwise only theory or images. This is direct experience of your body and your mind. So that is going to make you that much more resilient towards anything that life may throw at us. Congratulations, and so nice you shared this experience with us.
Anand, I want to ask your comment, and Cindy, Zone, and Archana also can join for my question and discussion. One small for a minute only. Why don't you make a terminology, if you come out of the comfort zone, And John was telling is really what I am taking part is out of my comfort zone. My personal feeling when I'm hearing you all, be at comfort at any time of your zone, whether you are going to the box or out of the box, wherever you are, be at comfort. My personal feeling is nothing must make you discomfort. The moment you are going to have the feeling of comfort and where you are going to be material and start enjoying, experimenting yourself, but all the time not losing the comfort zone. If you are going to experimenting that one, that also must be giving a comfort, because why I am saying this point very clearly is the moment you are going to come out of comfort zone, you are going to feel a discomfort in that. As you was telling, small erosion the block may produce thrombus, it may block my vessel. So never go into the zone of discomfort and be at comfort all the time. You are going to be yourself happiness. Any zone you carry the happiness, then you will be very safe. Because the moment if you feel that you are, I want to be out of comfort zone, it may produce discomfort, as John was telling me, that may be harmful for him at the moment itself. So I think overall may even to change the terminology. Where you are is at comfort. You must be happy all the time. But try to experience yourself, but not compromising your comfort. But you must be all the time at comfort, because the feeling of discomfort will produce all the hormones of negative one. Feeling of comfort, a feeling of confidence, prayer, and never lose your comfort, even if you're going, never use the word come out of comfort zone and then experimenting. Like, I don't know, just after hearing you, just my mind made me to think, and then I'm asking you and sharing you all. I think there must be a terminology change also. Come out of the comfort zone. Why should I come out from the comfort zone? When Camellia was telling that I'm fasting, she is going to do it as a comfort, not that. My personal feeling is never lose your comfort at any moment of life. Be at comfort, be prepared mentally as a living existence to experience other things. That is what my comment on it.
Thank
See,
you.
you've been a physician all along, so you never smoke, you've always exercised. So it's for people who are trying to make changes to gain better health or more confidence. Many people I invited today, they've lost so many dear family members in their personal lives. So there are so many things people go through, and how you find the strength to deal with the COVID challenges or any other challenges. Sometimes, not sometimes, this invitation to experience life outside the comfort zone is on a daily basis. So do it with positivity, so that you keep this. When you leave the comfort zone, that's when learning can happen. And when you learn every time something new, any learning is difficult. See, I don't know to play the piano or the violin. If I go to a lesson, I will feel very, very uncomfortable. So that's what is leaving the comfort zone. So that need not be physically painful, but obviously emotionally also. What Dad is mentioning is important. We don't stress about it, but if you look at the scales of happiness internationally, they are asking people, what did you learn in the last 3 days that is new? So people who learn something new end up being happier. That is one of the biggest criteria for fulfillment in life. So this comfort zone, that's all it implies. That try to learn and grow throughout life. Don't stop that at some particular juncture. And
What
that
Cindy
strength is
is
needed
now trying to
every day.
tell, Cindy is trying to say something about my comment, Cindy. As a psychologist or Archana, I
Oh,
don't know really.
oh, I just wanted to thank you because I think you're correct. That you know that you should be mindful whether you are in a comfort zone or not, because these not being that because you can add stress to your life, unnecessary stress, you know. And so I think on the one hand you should do try unique experiences. This adds to your joy, this adds to your well-being, but by the same token be mindful if something is stressing you and do everything you can to get out of a stressful situation. And in my experience also, I think that recognition and acknowledgement of love is so important. You know, not only what you're giving out, but what you're taking in, and recognizing and appreciating this in your experience, I think is a healer in and of itself, this universal love. So that's all I want to say. Thank you so much for your help and comments.
If I can add to that, I agree. Well, I think when you don't go outside your comfort zone, that's when you start feeling stressed. If that makes any sense. I feel like when you think outside the box or act outside your normal routine or go outside your comfort zone, that actually makes you feel better than you did before. But if I understood the doctor correctly, what I took away from that was that thinking of it as outside the comfort zone is a bit prohibitive, because if you label doing something new or trying something, you know, challenging yourself, just calling it outside the comfort zone inherently implies that it's going to stink, or that it's going to be hard, or that it's not going to be a good experience. When really the opposite is true. I think just sticking to a routine and never growing is far more stressful in the long run than actually trying to challenge yourself a little bit.
Thank you, John. I think you summarized better than I what but good. Thank you.
You're
and
welcome.
Anand, after hearing both of them, just of a minute, what I am now opening my mind for that is, be at stress, no doubt about it, because nobody can be without stress. Keep the stress positive in the sense, be happy with all happenings. Your existence to observe the happenings, be happy about that. The real sense, there is nothing as a good or bad. You're not losing it or gaining like that. So keep it a zone of the positive stress, happiness from all happenings, make your hormones a positive one, especially endorphin or oxytocin, to get secreted. The moment I feel I want to, because Anand is pulling me, come out of comfort zone, the feeling sense of the negative stress, it may even kill me. So wherever you travel, keep that stress with you, but see that the stress is positive and happiness from all happenings, whatever thing. I think you must inculcate the culture of this philosophy for younger generations. When the students, when they join, when they go for competition, not educating them at the age of 30 or 40 like that. I think in Europe or America, globally, the children, they must be educated how life is precious, how it can be healthy by making all the time positive attitude. It will be a stress of positive, it will be more safer. Once you prepare them, for them, that's what, to be very honest, in the, I even though Anand was my son, he only used to teach me when he was very young, and he is the best teacher for Chokkalingam is Anand Chokkalingam. So yeah, I don't know how he got that ability within him. I really admire him. These points I am now giving you back what I learned from you. There's a process of learning. So I think you must give that this point even for children at the age of 10, 12, 15 when they are crossing. Tell them there is a life is. Because there is nothing in the world you are going to get anything, compromising the life to get anything better than that, nothing in the world. So make them to realize what the life is. The only way to keep the life intact is our positive attitude. The moment you go to the negative, okay, it is going to kill them. This is their choice, whether to live or not to live. That you are not going to force them, no, you must live for 100 years or nothing like that. But make them to understand how that mind thinking, it makes you happy. That's what I'm just asking you to Anand, because you're going to take it for longer time of duration for greater people globally. I'm asking you to rethink about the terminology. Come out from the comfort zone. Don't test them like that. Be at comfort wherever you are like that. That's what my feeling is.
Excellent. Thanks for that nice discussion. The reality is, then everybody in today's meeting, everybody in the world who is alive today, we are all outside our comfort zone because of coronavirus. Nobody could have educated us, prepared us, trained us for where we are today. So if people are in the habit of doing spontaneously things that are sometimes outside the logical realm and that is not making us comfortable right off, just like fasting, for instance. We can use just fasting as a simple example for what I'm trying to reinforce. So, so many things we could be doing to gain that mind-body connection or spiritual strength or self-inquiry or confidence that will allow us to move through the future challenges of 2021, 2022, the years ahead better. That is, coronavirus is the most direct reason for us to be uh, looking outside the box for experiences and life itself.
I agree with you, Anand. Nobody now in the near year after or before, yes, COVID, what it has shown us globally is redefined our life. It has really, COVID added value to our own life. The COVID made it to understand the reality of life. As Anand was telling, the most precious thing now as and today in the world is our individual's life itself. Once you realize that one, then you know that I don't think there will be any more greater challenge in your life than COVID, what you are undergoing that. I'm really happy, Anand, for
I've been
covering
asking for the
very
last 10 years, all my patients, what are you grateful for? This is a question I ask my patients as a way of understanding what is meaningful and their goals are. Patients tell me, oh, I love to play with my 1-year-old granddaughter. I enjoy golfing. I like to go fishing. So many things people have been telling me over the last 20 years. In 2020, I'm hearing many of my patients, when I ask this first time, they look me in the eye and say, Doc, I'm happy to be alive. So they are implying coronavirus and they realize people around them are losing their life anywhere in the world. And just to be alive itself is not our guarantee or warranty like a car, 5 year, 50,000 mile warranty. Our life does not have that sort of permanence to it. So this virus has made us realize that. So I'm so happy we have people looking at self-inquiry because of the coronavirus. So yeah, that's what I wanted to leave people
one
thinking.
small comment, Anand, because it made me Cindy. If you are listening, what I want to say is please remember, adult human body, the blood vessel's total length is 100,000 kilometer. Okay, it can go around the world 2.5 times. Each adult one has got 40 trillion cells. So one cell has become 40 trillions. All that blood vessels of 100,000 kilometer or 40 trillion cells to live, because each cell is an organism. For them to live, don't make any attempt. Be happy, as Anand used to say all the time. Keep smiling, be happy, make others happy. Your cells will become live and your heart can work for 100 years.
Thank you, Doctor. I agree, and I thank you for your good thoughts.
Thanks a lot for this nice opportunity, Anand. I really appreciate. I have been teaching cardiology even though he was my son. Now I am learning a lot from my son and he has become a professor now.
So glad you all could join us. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, friends. So we can talk on next Monday, same time, about challenges and successes. That was the topic. So we'll find something interesting to discuss next Monday once again. Thanks so much for joining us. My request is for people who are joining us now, find the chance to listen to the June and July sessions and email me. I can give you the details, but it's at highlifejourney.org. Just create a username and password. You should be able to access all those actual formal discussions and sessions that explain how patients have overcome their cardiac challenges and what tools we recommend, and dietary recommendations, exercise recommendations. All that is in much more detail in the formal June and July sessions. Wonderful meeting you all. Thanks so much. Have a great week ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Anand.
Thank you.